Hi, my name is Derek with CMP Attachments LLC, and I'm going to give you guys a quick installation guide here and show you what it takes to put this thing together. This currently right here, it's a Z60 that we're going to mount onto this Easy Track. And there's a couple things I would like to show you about this Dethatcher. This is going to be the frame mount that you guys are going to receive. And these are the bearings. They're a full 3-inch needle bearing that we have installed here. So you guys shouldn't have to worry about them. I just want to show you guys that you guys are getting a full needle bearing up in this location. And then what you're going to do, the first procedure is you're going to take these swivel mount wheels and you're going to leave these collars on the bottom but remove this one. Slide these up into here. And I would recommend just to kind of stick these on just a little ways and tighten the set screw up, just so that they're not always falling off on you. Alright. Then what you're going to get is you're going to grab the 2 3/4-inch bars. You can see there's 4 3/8 holes in it, and then you can see there's a bunch of 1/4-inch holes. These are what are going to hold the tines. You're going to take the first one and slide the Dethatcher tine onto it. Then you're going to take these 1/4-inch bolts and put the smaller washer on, then the larger washer, and then stick it through and tighten it up. On this here tine bar, you're going to take and stick all of them on the same way. Tighten up the bolts. And then this here, I've already installed one completely so we're not wasting your guys' time. But as you can see, one of them you install fully. Then you take the next bar and you flip it the opposite way and install it. So you can see that the tines are staggered. And that's going to be your set. The first thing then I would recommend to do, take this set, grab the 3/8 long bolts, and stick through one of them. Keep in mind that the tine, this is the front of the tine. You want the ground to run this way with the tine. You do not want it to run this way. Then you're going to come over here to the frame mount. Make sure the CMP attachments is facing forward. And you're going to take that support bar here, stick it through, then take the other tine, make sure that you got the tines the right way. Sometimes this can get kind of tricky. It's almost easier with 2 people, but you can do it by yourself. Then you're going to take and tighten them up. Alright, and then you're going to grab the frame mount that you've inserted the wheels into and slide it on. Alright, now that you have these bolts set up, you will notice these things can move up and down. This is your variance and adjustment that you have on your mounting bar. and I will show you later when you tighten those. Then you grab the mounting bar set up. And what we're going to do actually on this easy track is we're going to attach it to this location right here on the bottom side. So I'm going to take these loose. And then what you're going to do is, you're going to take and stick this thing up there, underneath. Keep in mind on the easy track, you want the longer part sticking down. And you're going to come into here. And this ear on this side right here, you want it to hit right up against here. So you just hit it up and you keep this bar flush with this 1/8 inch piece of steel that's on the easy track right here and right here. It's a good guide to make sure that you're putting the bar on straight. Hit that ear up against on the right side of the mower. Then what you're going to do is you're going to mark the bolt holes. The best is just to hold it, another person, and mark where you need to be drilling your hole in the center of the tube. This is the complete finished one. I've drilled the holes and cut it off to speed up time. Then you're going to take stick that in. Start that nut. Get this side started. Holes are Alright. The one thing too, the reason why you have to make sure that this ear is slid all the way over is, you can see there's not a lot of clearance on the easy track. Right here is you can move your tine frame wherever you want it. If you want to stick it out that far, you can. So what I recommend, the first thing you do is kind of mock it up in between here. Decide where you want it. Lift this up, slide the bar, put it down, and then actually look, okay, yep, that's where I want it. Then what you're going to do is pull it away. Make sure that this thing is all the way down, hitting on both sides. This is where it requires some drilling. You're going to take a 3/8 drill bit. You're going to grab one of the 3/8 bolts that run through this frame section, and you're going to drill a hole. And then I recommend to take that bolt and just stick it in that hole so it doesn't move on you. And only try drilling one side at a time. Then come around to the front, and keep in mind the frame mount already has holes drilled in it, so it's an easy guide so you're not guessing on the holes. Okay. Alright, once you've gotten these two bolts tight, take and mock this thing up and take the 3/8 pins that come with. And on this one here, I'm going to go up to the second hole from the bottom. Put them in. Go ahead and clip it. Okay. Then I'm going to let the tines sit on the ground. I'm going to let them sit on the concrete floor. Then I'm going to tighten these arms up right here, because we don't want this thing to be able to move around. Let it sit on the ground. in mind after the first time you use this thing, try to go around and try to retighten all the bolts in case some do loosen up. Alright, there we go. Mold it on, ready to go. Then this is the time when you probably just take these bottom collars, make sure that you run them down to the ground and let them hit. There. Same with this one, which that one looks like it's good. Make sure it's tight. Alright, now what we got to do is mount the handle on this Easy Track. And what you're going to do is you're going to get these two pieces like this. You're going to take this, and this we're going to mount up here. We're going to mount it up in this area, that way you can reach the handle from up in this section. We're going to take and put this mount this way on the Easy Track. From here to here, you're looking at about 6 inches. Mark your holes and drill them, which I've already done. And you want to tighten this rubber up so it gives you friction so the handle stays. You're going to take the handle mount, stick through there. You're going to come and insert it through here, stick a washer on. Alright, and we're just going to leave these kind of loose for now. Go ahead and snug these up so it clamps it nice and tight to that bar. You don't want this thing sliding around. And you can also tighten this one up too. Make sure these are nice and tight because this is what locks these two handles together. And keep in mind this thing is on a slotted hole so you can turn it. My goal is to always get as much lift as possible out of the handle mechanism. To bring the Dethatcher up as high as you can, it just takes a lot of load off of where you mount your bracket. One thing I do too here is you're going to have to install this spring and go ahead and clip it on that first loop, and then you can see, okay, and you got to lift the Dethatcher up. And that's probably a little too, not enough, so I'm going to go one more link. This is kind of your shock absorber for you commercial guys that are running through the lawns at 10, 12 miles an hour. Alright. And then you come over to here. As you can see, if you're mowing and you're ready to come up, bring the Dethatcher up. It's done, installed. You can see what I got to do to get this Dethatcher unhooked is you put it up, over, and around, down.